going on, guys? This is Christian from Chaos Reborn, bringing you a deck profile. Who are you and what you did these past few weekends?
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago. I'm Chase Lay. I got top 4 at the Knoxville Regional with Birds.
Yes, you can see pretty playmat and the deck boxes. So let's start doing the deck profile, brother.
All right.
Any shout-outs that you want to do?
To all the boys down at Gamers Alley, and to Christian in the Gash for helping me test, and buddy of mine, James up in Michigan for helping me get into the game. Appreciate him. So start out, standard ratio, 3 Rabina, 3 Eglin, 1 Stree, 1 Toucan. I wouldn't recommend playing 2 Stree. I know some people are bumping up because Tier's coming back around, but 1 is always correct. You can play your 1 Smorg. You know.
How was that card?
Which one?
The
Smorg? Okay. Yeah. Always play 1 of this. I actually have thought about bumping it up to 2, taking 1 out of the main for your follow-up. If you just have a Map Rabina line and you have Smorg, if you have a second one in deck, seeing it's not too bad, but seeing 2 is a little iffy. So I thought about 2. I'd probably test around with a little bit more, but 1 mandatory. Makes Map Rabina stronger, helps the chain blocks. Insane.
I like that. I like that.
Next, your Big Birds. You're playing 3 Impin. I feel like 3 Impin is objectively correct now. Seeing
we have a
one...
problem right here. I see 2 secrets and a super.
Yeah, this one I found on the side of the road.
Oh.
It's, well, we don't want to worry about this one right here. You were only originally ever playing 2, so this one was last resort type thing.
He's like the third kid.
Yeah, Nobody is the third kid. He is the third one. So we'll worry about him later. We'll get him up to snuff at some point. But you play 3 now because seeing 1 in the opener, if they happen to imperm, even if they don't have Ash and you chain block with your Smorg and they imperm your Eglin, you still have your normal for turn. And if you normal and impin, you're probably winning that game anyway. You loop your opponent for 1, you still have full combo.
How many people play into impin? Like they didn't read the card and they tried to use effects.
Even at the top tables all day, I had at least 1 or 2 people that would summon something and attack and attempt to declare the effect and go, you know how it is. But hey, it's very easy to forget about. But as long as you're on top of it, you can catch some people, and it really pays off in some matchups. And then your final 2 is, of course, Ryza and Avian. I mean, standard. I love looping Shifter. I love having 3 Omni Negates in 1 turn. Not too bad.
Fair enough.
Speaking of the boy, 1 and only hand trap in the deck. 1 of the best cards in the deck. Only reason to play the deck. He's awesome.
Oh, quarter century.
Hey, gotta make sure you represent it. Otherwise, it don't count. Next is your Flu Spell Traps. Oh, this is a Flu Spell Trap. Format, of course. And then you have 3 Advent. 1 dodge them in perms. Play 1 unexplored and something much more interesting. We're playing 2 trap. You play 2 trap. 1 because after turn 1 you can search it again off impin on the crackback after turn 3. If you're going to a more grind game scenario, you can threaten it from banished and from deck. Since you're running 3 impins, you have more search power, which allows you to get access to the second one more easily, and also having the Book of Moon effect on the second one engraved whenever you might need it. Turn 4 and onward, because say you don't open Shifter and you open a mediocre line, having 1 in the deck plus 1 in Banish to recycle with Toucan is always really, really nice to have access to. And even hard drawing at some turns, if you open a lot of birds plus this and they stop your normal line, you can just set this and pass and play on your opponent's turn. So it's not bad. Also, you can thrust into it, but we're getting there. Next is consistency cards. 3 Duality. 3 Prosperity, standard. And next is the thrust package. I'm only playing 2 thrust because I can't afford the 3rd one, but that's okay because it worked out anyway. The other interesting thing I'm doing is I'm actually playing Herald in the main because I feel like Pearly is one of the harder matchups for this deck. And game 1, if you thrust into it and they're not expecting it, you can steal games very, very easily. And it actually isn't terrible into other matchups as well. Like, if you're going into, like, Salad or Mathmech or anything like that, you can either blank their Terahertz or their Link on board, and it can actually help out a lot more than you would think. And then we're playing 2 evenly in the main for obvious reasons. Search it off thrust, and it's just really strong.
How good was Evely? Because I see most people play 3 of it in the main.
Well, the problem is that it was either the third evenly or the Herald, and I felt like with the engine and the consistency I had, I liked the 2, because if we're playing 2 of this and we have 2 thrusts, we're technically playing 4 copies, which is good enough to, see. And the only reason we're playing in the main is for game 1 scenarios. So if we see it game 1, they're most likely not ready for it. And if they are, well, then it's just another negate to bait out for the combo line that we're going to do anyway.
That makes sense.
And then play one of them. Play one of that. You can set it off thrust. It comes up when it comes up.
The funny card.
The funny card. And then we're also maining Duster for any problematic matchups.
And then how many cards in the main?
40.
Perfect 40. Oh,
Perfect 40.
I see.
I'm messing around with the ratios a lot, and I feel like this is about as good as it can get in terms of ratios. The only thing that I would even recommend changing would be the Herald. You could mix and match that with maybe like the third evenly or the third thrust if you own it. But I feel like this is good for the main.
Fair enough. Let's go with the extra deck.
Now, due to contrary belief, I actually did build an extra deck for this, because you can never be too prepared when it comes to floodgating matchups and just really awkward game states that you have to navigate through. So for the extra, I played a Anima, Yugioh, and Phoenix to play around Tikaboo specifically, just in case they were running it, because you can summon a bird on their turn with the trap, and like they're in their main 2. I mean, this is again assuming we're in a very, very bad game state. Then we can go Anima, maybe try and steal something if they don't also have skill drain up. Then Yugioh with your other bird, and then your normal for turn you can do Nightmare Phoenix to try and get rid of it, and then hopefully play on your opponent's turn, but it's better to have it than to not have it at all.
Fair enough.
And then we're playing Access for trying either out skill drain, or just in case, again, you get into those really weird scenarios, Access target Phoenix. You have 2 attributes, it's not bad. And then Goddess for if anyone sticks a towers at you, and you just can't do anything else about it. Another reason we play Herald in the main is just in case if you can out their board and they only have a towers, you can Herald send their towers. So it's multiple things, because this deck very much struggles with that. And then we're playing 1 Ensemble Blue for if it ever comes up. And then we are running 3 Zeus packages. Jeez. Now, I know it sounds kind of weird, but the reason that I ran this is because you have 1 Zeus line at all times, and every game you get at bare minimum 1 free prosperity, because you have 6 banishes to go off of it immediately. So you don't have to think about what you're banishing, because you already have your extra deck designed to do what you need to do. So you have 1 free prosperity every game without banishing anything that might conflict. So that's why you play 3. I know it's a little weird, but I mean, hey, shoot, it's free.
I mean, it makes sense.
If it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And now for the this thing you've probably been eyeballing all game. This is real. This is real. I did play Scary Sea.
What the hell?
This card's insane. So it's a little weird because it only works against half matchups. That's why you played it 1. It is a searchable turn skip, which is very, very nice. And it works against some of the better decks of the format, like Rescue Ace. If they're just trying to do a basic line, you can immediately shut them down. Manadium, it immediately locks them out. It actually came up against a Rika player as well, because anytime they just simply can't go into the extra deck without immediately losing the game.
It's also on top card, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it worked very, very well. The card performed a lot better than I expected, and again, that's why it's on the side. It works against some matchups, doesn't work against other ones. And the matchups that it doesn't work against, you have other side cards for, and other things in the main for it as well. So it's just a really nice little tech card that performed very, very well. A lot better than you would expect. Playing also 2 Lightning Storm, just because this deck kind of struggles with back row. Definitely not one of his strong suits, but shoot, you're running so many blowout cards. Leaving them with 1 back row shouldn't be.
And you also maining, like if you go in second, you're already maining evenly, so that's something that can help you already in the main deck. In Harpies versus back row deck, so exactly. Adding more layers on top of that makes sense.
Yeah. It's real nice. We're also playing 3 Pro.
So now explain that.
This guy, he is searchable off of Urbina. He is very, very good, and very, very good into the tier matchup. Now, this is one of the cards that I was very heavily considering, because one of the things that I've thought about doing is actually cutting 2 just for 1 to have, because it's searchable, and usually you only need one to beat tier. But the reason I was playing 3, was because it was better to open going second against matchups that it beats in ways like Hurley and Tier and sometimes Vanadium, depending on their hand. So it could work out better for doing that. But I think I might cut the 2 just for the 1 because it's searchable, and if you get your combo rolling anyway, this is most likely winning you the game. And instead of taking out board breakers, you can instead just keep it in as a 1-0. Because also opening 2 or more is an extra card in your hand that's not a high enough impact card to auto win you the game. So this one, bit of an iffy on, but it worked out really well. Next, we're playing the extra evenly on the side, just in case we're going second, along with the 2 extra storms for if you're going first. Then also for back row, playing 3 Cosmic for any lab or floodgatey shenanigans. Or if you're playing against Tier and they have Necroworld Banshee, this sucker is always nice to be able to activate in the middle of a combo, just in case they happen to mill you out in the middle of what you're trying to do, and they, activate Necroworld, okay, activate Zombie World, Chain Cosmic, crazy. And then last card, simple, just last board breaker, just Dark Ruler, because works against pretty much any combo deck, and you don't really care. Because once you put up Big Impin and Liza, you pretty much win the game anyway.
So, at the end, what place do you got?
At 4th.
4th place on the regional with Flu. Well, guys, that was the deck profile. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye-bye, YouTube. Peace out.